Hello guys, and today we have another review, and this time it's on an amazing blaster, a blaster that was not the greatest when it released, and still most people don't like it, but in my eyes it is one of the best blasters that Dart Zone themselves have released. It is the Dart Zone Max Omnia. Let's get into it. The Dart Zone Max Omnia is a mag-fed half-length blaster that shoots at around 150 FPS, that is flywheel powered, that has curved or slanted off flywheels which spin your darts, and that has a stock attachment point, is full auto, shooting 7 darts a second, and has a select fire switch which allows you to switch between semi-auto, burst fire and full auto. So let's get into it, starting at the front. Of course we have no end-strike barrel lugs at the front, but we do have this cool muzzle that you can see the flywheels inside. At the top we have a Picatinny rail that you do get a front sight included and a rear sight included, which can only go on one way, on the other way it's closed. And it is a cool kind of grenade style scope that works okay, and you can actually angle it to give you a 60 or 45 degree angle. You can also fold it down to use as a standard rear sight. And when you remove it, you just have a straight Picatinny rail. Down below we have the nice forward grip that does not have a rail but has this texturing, and it is a very nice kind of front grip, although there are these bumps on each side for the flywheels that do have open holes for cooling, but still it is a very nice forward grip. And below it we have the magazine well, and the magazine, of course. It comes with two 15-round katana style Dart Zone mags. So this does mean they are not your Talon magazines, but they're still made well, and most blasters that use a dual catch will be able to fit these. Most of them are the Aeon Pro X, Nexus Pro X, and a bunch more, like the Nexus, the Aeon Pro, and the Dictator, although the Dictator won't work because these are curved, but unfortunately the Striker 2.0 does not work with this, but most blasters will still work. They're pretty high quality and they don't really have any feeding issues. And both hold 15 darts, although you can put more inside. I do not have it fully loaded, but from the 5th slot from the bottom, you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When dart is around the 5th, you know it's loaded. So you can just count or look when it gets there. The mag insertion is freaking great, although it is not flared. It is still really smooth, and the magazine mag drops, if you didn't see. Down to the triggers, the grip, and this whole part, we have the mag release, which is a bit weird because you have to push your finger forward and then downwards like this, which is a bit weird, and the mag release is not the smoothest and it is a bit heavy, but because you need to push it only a little, it is very easy to mag drop. This is the handguard, which is a bit weird on a blaster like this, and it does make your blaster feel a bit bigger, but it is really nice and it gives you a bit structure. Down to the grip and the triggers are really nice. The main trigger is clicky and smooth, although it is pretty short. Now this will be a bit loud, but just look for the travel that the trigger does. If you were able to see, the trigger moves very slightly and there isn't much travel with it, which I do find weird, but it is generally better. And it is not a big problem because this is, well, not a manual semi-auto, but it is an electrical one. So yeah, there is some lag, but we'll talk about that. The rev trigger is very nice, although it is a 2-finger trigger, or rev trigger, it is still very nice and clicky. And I like it. The main grip is huge. but it is very comfy and the texture on the back does not hurt your hand at all. It is a very nice grip. That's while I thought it was gonna be a bit weird because the dual rev trigger, it feels freaking fantastic. At the back we also have the stock attachment point, which is the same stock attachment point as all other Nerf blasters, and you can put on your stock, which is buffer tube, but it is a square buffer tube, not a circle. So as I think most buffer tube stocks will not work on this, some might, but as far as I know they don't really work, which is a bit dumb in my mind. On the other hand, this is collapsible, and at this position it's perfect for all the smaller people and for my brother, which is younger. It's still comfy like this even, and if you extend it fully you can really use it well, and it's the perfect size, and it is so comfy and nice, and it feels really nice. It will not collapse unless you press the trigger, and there is ever so slightly a bit of flex, but mainly because it's shaking. The stock and the whole build is really nice, and I do like it. I do have one gripe about this. You see that? That is full. What does that mean? Let me show you. Let's take the Rico Mach 2, which I do plan on reviewing next week. You see this tail it has right here, which is where the plunger tube goes, or the plunger rod. Yeah, that doesn't work. And what is the craziest part is that, well, this can fit on this. This is larger than this. They could have made this work, but they decided not to. But at least Dart Zone doesn't make this weird kind of tail on their blasters. And let's be honest, any Nerf blaster that does have this tail is not that strong and doesn't need a stock. It is a big gripe because basically all of my blasters that I have this, but it is not a huge problem because I don't generally use stocks with these kind of blasters. And on flywheelers, which I would use a stock like this either way, well, they have the standard stock attachment point. But either way, the stock is freaking fantastic. I will keep it collapsed just so it's a bit more compact. Now, I've talked about most of the things besides the thing that is coolest about this blaster, but before that there's still one more thing, and that is the jam door. You have it there, it's practically useless, it doesn't give you that much access at all. And you have the battery door on this side, which the blaster includes a 2S Lion, not LiPo, battery, which Lions are slightly worse than LiPos, but they're safer, so I would much rather take safety than performance, a little bit of performance. You can still put a LiPo in there because it has a XT30 connector. So yeah, it's pretty good. And it's rechargeable, so yeah. But now, onto the most important thing, the selector switch. As you can see right here, let me get a bit closer. Now, I don't know if you can see, but there are numbers here. You can't really see them on the video, but right now it's in position off. It's off, and while you can still rev it, if you press the trigger, it will not do nothing. Then you turn on the semi, and when you press the trigger and release, or just hold down the trigger, it will fire one dart. And on burst fire, which is the 2, it will fire 3 darts whether you hold or press the trigger. And on full back or 3, it's full auto. You hold down to fire, or you can just press. Now there is a problem with this. Lag. A lot of it. Let me show you. Let me just pull the pillow up. So, let's see it in semi. Now the problem is not the actual shot. It happens very fast. The thing I learned is, well, when you fire 2 darts. as you saw, it didn't fire. If you press 2 times really fast, it will not fire the second dart, and if you continue firing on, you will get a rate of fire of 2 darts, which is really bad. But if you press, release, press, release, press, release, a bit slower, it will actually fire each time. So the problem this has is it cannot do 2 follow-up shots. So if you press right after firing, it will not read that. But if you fire at a certain rate of fire, it will fire really fast. That is a problem, but I got used to it. Now let's go to the 3-round burst, which I use the least, but I still use sometimes. And, well, the biggest problem here is not the lag, but the fact that it shoots 3 darts rather slowly, at around 3 or 4 darts a second, which is not nice. But when I was actually using it, it was kind of nice because it was giving the blaster time to rev up in between shots, and you didn't fire all 3 darts in the same spot, you could move them around. So while it wasn't perfect, it wasn't bad. And then you just have full auto, and I have 5 darts inside. It shoots at 7 darts a second. Now, since I'm filming in 1080p 30 FPS because my phone doesn't shoot in 60 FPS, which is unfortunate, you can't really see darts all that well, but this is shooting at 150 FPS, if you couldn't tell by the noise. So yeah, the lag is considerable, but not the worst. And well, if you buy today, and if you're in the United States, I really recommend you get the Nitro Shot or the green version, which is basically the same. It has green magazines and the red parts are green, which I do kind of like that design. I don't know if I like it more than the red design, but I generally do like it. That one has basically no lag, so it's perfect. This, I would say, is completely fine and completely usable, and that the green one is really good. I would honestly go as far to say, as this is very nice, and I will consider this to be the Omnia, and I will consider that to be the Omnia 2.0 or an upgraded version. But do not be scared. If you have the Gen 2, yes, this is the Gen 2, you can just put in a 2S or a 3S LiPo, and it will basically remove the lag and also increase your performance. Although, be careful with the 3S. With the 2S, you shouldn't be worried. But with the 3S, you should definitely look into that. Now let's talk plastic quality and looks. First we'll go over the design, and the design is amazing and kind of cheap. Let me explain. So the magazine is it's nice, it's cool, and it's transparent. Basically all Talon mags you can buy are transparent, and I do like that. But that's not the part of the blaster. The stock is really nice, and I like the orange and the white, but it's an external part, so I will leave that out of the actual looks. And when you look at this, it's actually about the size of a stripe, a bit larger, but since I don't have the stripe, let's just compare it to the the Echo. Yeah, so the Omnia is not that much bigger, and in places it is, and it doesn't really matter. Yes, it is a bit chunkier, but I mean, this is a mag-fed Springer that shoots at 60 FPS or whatever. This shoots at 150 FPS, it's 7 darts a second, and has select fire. Yeah. But it looks really nice. I honestly love these grill holes. It has the Dart Zone Max. Yeah, it has the Dart Zone Max written over here, but has the Omnia Pro up here, even though this is the Dart Zone Omnia Max. Kind of weird. But I like all of these different pieces, the design it has in the plastic. You can definitely paint this up with just black coloring and it will look way better. But honestly, I love the way it looks, but it does look way better in real life because you can't really convey it through a camera, so yeah. But I generally do love the design of this blaster. How's the plastic quality? Well, this blaster sells for $70 US or somewhere 90, and it has the performance of a blaster that costs 150. So plastic quality's got to be the problem. Sorta. The first one, or the Gen 1, which not many people got, but still some did, burnt out and the flywheels were offset, so it would fire to the left. That was the problem. Right now it still has cheaper components than it usually would, but it's not going to burn out or have the problem with shooting left with this blaster. Nope. In fact, this blaster has some of the best plastic quality ever. You remember my review on the Double Punch, which I really literally released yesterday. It has amazing plastic. It's very sturdy and it basically feels like better than any other blaster that I had. When you did flex it, you did get some very slight flex and some creaking, but basically none. This blaster has zero of that. Like, listen. I cannot even flex it, nor I can make any sounds. The only sound that you can hear is the magazine having just a little, the rev trigger just having some give. So yeah, this blaster feels absolutely the best, and I liked them for that. If they made this blaster like $50 and had slightly worse plastic, would I mind it? No. But this blaster feels amazing, and I like them for that. So yeah, not many cons it has, but we'll talk about them later on, after I show you the fire rank. Okay, so I'll be shooting at that target over there at around 25 feet, and I'll be shooting the X-Shot Air Pocket half-length darts, these right here, and I'll be shooting the Dart Zone Max Ruby darts. They are more X-Shot darts than they are Dart Zone darts. I'll be firing 150 round mag in semi, one in burst, and one in full auto. Let's go. So, what is my end of conclusion of this blaster? Well, firstly, the performance is really great. The accuracy is really nice, even for a flywheeler, mainly because of the offset or the curved flywheel cage or flywheelers or flywheels, which basically spin the dart, making it more accurate. Still, it is not the most accurate because it's flywheel blaster, but I can definitely use this in semi and just snipe people. I love this blaster. It is so compact, it is so comfy, and there's only really 3 issues in my mind. What are they? First, the mag release. Even though it's not the worst and you can definitely get used to it, I would like that it has a pedal style mag release. In fact, I would just remove the handrail and have the flap or flap style mag release just in front. Second, they could give you a flared mag well, but I will not count that as an issue. The issue is the lag on the blaster or in performance, but if you really don't like the lag and just want to snap off quick single shots, you can just leave it in full auto and just click it. Yeah, but the green one fixes the problems, so yeah, we also got that. Now the only issue to me, honestly, that is not that big of an issue when I get more blasters that have the standard stock attachment point, and isn't really a problem right now, but it's just an inconvenience. It's the stock attachment point not having the hole in there, which they could have done somehow, but it is not a big issue. So really, only the mag release could be a bit better, and yeah, the lag could be better, but they have a version that fixes that. So, it's amazing. The Omnia Pro is amazing. I love it. If you want something like this, or if you just want a full auto blaster, just get this. It's freaking amazing, and why in the hell is the video that long? Jesus Christ. Either way, I think this blaster is freaking amazing, and that this video is too long. So either way. My name is Nixie, and bye bye.